is back, and some things are better, and some things are pretty much the same. So I guess some things really don't change.
Yeah,
I feel like we do that every
Well, I mean, usually one like really like it's also it's premiere season, I guess. Like usually one of them like really shits the bed.
Right, but still, because of their premieres, they put their best face forward, at least for an episode, usually.
In 2 out of the 3 cases, we aren't covering Black Lightning because we've decided that Black Lightning is so totally different than the rest that we're going to cover it in its own little mini-sodes.
And it's just the structure is so different.
It really is. It doesn't do Freak of the Week stuff like the other ones do. Although Arrow doesn't look like it's going to do that either.
No.
Yeah, it seems like it's moving away from that this season.
I have some opinions on Arrow, and most of them are good.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about Flash, Supergirl, and Arrow. They all debuted this week, at least this week and last week. Flash is already 2 episodes in. Arrow's 1. Supergirl's 1. I didn't even know Supergirl aired. I had to watch it. I had to watch it today, like an hour ago. But hey, I'm Connor McGraw. Who else is here?
Arlen Haro, signing on.
Hunter Davenport here.
Erik Fedorchak back for his government-mandated CW watching of the seasons.
That's my joke, you bastard.
What do we call Flash? Court-mandated TV?
Yes.
Yeah.
Man,
it was Arrow and then it was Flash.
I remember. Here's the thing. Arlen's Facebook post pops up on what's it called? Like his memories every now and then of like, here comes my court-appointed viewing of Arrow from like fucking 2 years ago.
Yeah, man, I skipped the country near the end of the seasons last year. I could not deal with it. I couldn't.
Erik went off the grid.
My body would force me to go to sleep to protect myself. Like I could not watch them.
I don't have problems. I mean, I don't know how Supergirl ended last season because I just didn't fucking watch it and still haven't. But I don't
apparently things happened.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care. Like even now that Supergirl came back and it's seemingly okay. Like it kept my attention, and I was like, I kind of like this. And then I fucking realized I was looking at Rona Mitra, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, she's still hot.
Wait, she was in the episode? I don't remember seeing her.
Yeah,
dude, she's fucking Mercy Graves.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she's totally not a white supremacist alienator.
Okay.
like,
yeah. Wow, I didn't realize that was her. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Supergirl was okay, but like I don't particularly care to go back and even find out what happened. To me, season 3 never happened.
Yeah.
Because honestly, this episode I didn't feel any like ramifications of it. We're going to talk about Flash first, but I didn't really feel too much of the effect of season 3 because they're just like, oh yeah, Brainiac's here.
I prefer to look at season 3 as what happened after that little girl was crushed by the giant metal scaffolding. It was all just a fever dream she was having.
Imagine if the season ended at that.
She fucking died.
Yeah, no, her insides would have popped out like a piñata. Like, no,
she
would have been done.
Wait, hold on. Are you telling me like it would happen like Ermac's fatality in Mortal Kombat X, where he just fucking pulled all your guts out your mouth?
Kind of, yeah. Like, because I mean, it hit her right in the guts. So, like,
I really wanted the season to just end at that. Honestly.
God damn it. I mean, preemptively, that would have been nice because
and it ends with a robot chicken theme.
It's a fucking Lars von Trier movie.
It's
anything to save us from porn, Sauron. I mean, honestly,
she would have looked like a large fleshy knot on the middle of a piece of string, because guts would have come out of the 2 easiest places to exit, and I don't think we need to say much more.
Oh, you fucking fucking nasty man.
He figured out a way to do it to gross us out, but in a completely different way.
Here's the thing: I don't really like Comedy Button too much, at least the community. But that show gave me the insult, "You nasty man," and I'm forever grateful for it.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
let's go to Flash, I guess.
Let's talk about Flash, and
let's
I don't know.
Renew what Arlen forgot about it. Yeah, I don't know. I thought the first episode wasn't half bad for like a hey, let's catch up on what happened last time or the end of the last season, because I kind of needed it. But, I don't know, it was a good way to really shine a light on his future daughter, like, and just showing like the foibles and whatnot of her being there. And then I got a little confused because was it saying that, I mean, mind you, I'm jumping ahead a bit, but were they saying that she could have gone back at any time she wanted to and she was just lying to them the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because she wanted to know Barry better.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Which is a wrinkle I kind of like, because the other side of it is she's like, yeah, fuck mom.
Well, her mom
it's
the Iris from last season.
It's getting really, really like it's not just like, yeah, mom, like I'm gonna go with dad now. It's like she doesn't even really acknowledge Iris half the time and just like fucks off with Barry the whole time.
Yeah,
an audience surrogate.
Here's the thing. I kind of think that's where this might be headed, either intentionally or unintentionally, because like it's not just like, yeah, mom, we don't have anything in common. It's like, cool, you're here, can I be somewhere else?
Yeah, I don't know though.
Like, even when Iris basically holds her hostage at at Jitters, like, but Nora's like, oh man, can I leave?
So basically, how we all felt during the last half.
Yeah, like exactly.
Yep.
It's startling.
Yeah, I don't know though. Iris was actually likable in these first two episodes.
Why? That's why I think this might be. I think this is an intended audience surrogate thing, because it seems very on the nose with like some of the weird course corrections.
Yeah,
because like Iris is back to being a reporter. And Nora finds her to be fucking irritating, it seems.
Well, yeah, that was what I was amazed by. She actually has a job this season instead of just being harping shrew the whole time in the last season.
She actually showed up at a crime scene to interview a fucking police chief about a homicide. I'm like, oh my god, she's doing what she's supposed to be doing.
That really feels like they were at, like, the writers were at a con or something. And then someone brought up that she didn't do anything, and then they were like, "She has a job."
No, here's the thing: like, if you hover around like their social media outlets, like that have any kind of official CW stuff on them, like the reaction to Iris being useless and annoying is deafening.
Yeah,
like I think it's Emergency Awesome or Pagey, one of the guys who covers Flash TV regularly or CW TV regularly, opens his show with that dumb fucking scene where she goes, "No, Barry, we are the Flash," and then he kind of laughs every time.
Well, it was the stupidest choice they could have made last season.
Yeah, and like I think the memes like were fucking everywhere about it, because like to the rest of the world, like this is probably a blip, but like to CW, this is their fucking golden goose at this point, or at least it's one of them. So this stuff has to enter their sphere.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what do those people in the background have to say about it?
Yeah.
But they feel those people in the background are going to be murdered later on.
You keep saying. You keep
implicating yourself in future murders.
I know.
Calm down. I'm gonna have to call Oliver Queen, aka the Flash. He's gonna...
Well, maybe you should call William, because things.
The second episode, like, I felt, other than the going back to villain of the week thing, which I get it. Like, all right,
man. Okay, here's the thing. She was the fucking pits as far as like
she really was.
Wasn't that the actress who was in The Matrix, the one who got killed first, the one in the white suit?
I actually think it might be.
No.
I
don't think it is.
I could have sworn it was. Like, she looks familiar. I'm not sure what else I've seen her in, but
it's her fucking power. It's like, so you make things dense.
And she has like what super cubes
of air
that are.
She has fucking super flubber powers. Okay, I'm not even sure what the implication is. She locks people in yellow squares of boogers, and then like makes them. She condenses them.
Yeah. She really didn't matter at all. She was just there to get killed by Cicada. Is that what happened? I can't
more or less.
Actually,
she's basically bus meta 13.
Yeah.
Which is kind of one of the most insulting things they can say about someone at this point in regards to the Flash.
Mm-hmm.
You were one of the most useless characters ever conceived this show.
Yeah.
I thought, and I'm glad that in episode 1 that Gridlock was the idiot with the pixel mask and not Cicada.
Yes, yes, that made me very happy.
Yeah, even it didn't change the fact that it looked fucking dumb.
Wait, is his name Roadblock or Gridlock?
Gridlock. Roadblock's a G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I know. That's where my confusion is coming from.
Yeah, he's the one who doesn't want you to forget your sandwiches.
Yeah. Wait.
Well,
No, was that Roadblock?
Oh no, Roadblock was body massage.
Body massage.
Yeah, it was. Oh god, it was Shipwreck who wanted you to forget your sandwiches.
Dude, Shipwreck had like a fucking whirly bird helicopter backpack.
Dude, I fucking love the body massage. Body massage machine, go.
Ooh.
You know my dad? Body massage.
Wow, I'm looking at the IMDb for this episode, and the villain isn't even showing up on the IMDb. Like,
wow,
whoever it was.
I assure you
it was.
Oh, she's
Was
she's
it?
brunette. That's why you didn't see her. Her name is Vanessa Jansen in the show.
Okay.
I'm looking at what she's been in.
Vanessa Jansen.
She's been in
second episode
things.
villain. Okay, yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
Gridlock was identified in the first episode.
Yeah, no,
This one didn't even get a villain name.
No, other than like Cube or whatever. Whatever.
Block or something
whatever Cisco said about her when he was being super emo.
Okay, all right. I gotta address Cisco. Wino drunk Cisco is also fantastic. And now fucking sad Cisco is the best.
Yes.
Because he's not
phenomenal.
Yes, but
he's not mopey petty Cisco from season 3.
Right.
He is staring at walls like, what is the meaning of life? he's broken Cisco.
Yeah, I mean, he can still do his job,
I
but
love it.
he's broken Cisco. I wonder when Naked Cisco or Venom Cisco is going to
That-
show up.
thank you.
He's gonna rub the ashes of his brother onto his face.
Thank you for getting the joke. It could also be a reference to Broken Matt Hardy, in which he will come back with a blonde streak in his hair, and he will have convened with the 7 deities, and he will. Eric, I don't know if you've come across Broken Matt Hardy.
I've seen him here and there.
It is the grandest wrestling gimmick ever conceived.
I'm somewhat aware of it. Like,
Yeah,
I've seen it floating around.
It is, but like you have to absorb, because like, not to go off topic real quick, but just to fully get the reference, like, Broken Matt Hardy's matches were not taped in an arena; they were taped at the Hardy compound with like a film camera and special effects and like pyrotechnics and some of the strangest humor I've ever come across. Like, there's an entire gimmick devoted to a dilapidated boat, and it's referred to as the dilapidated boat.
What the fuck?
And he calls it out constantly.
Yeah, he's
What
like,
the
oh,
fuck?
the dilapidated boat, and he has an accent all of a sudden, and people are like, why are you speaking this way? He's like, I have always spoken this way.
You know, when you're in ECW for that long and then in WWE,
No, he was never in ECW.
Weren't they in the WCW at one point?
He was in the WWE branded ECW when they revived it, which was not ECW, it was WWE Light.
No, the Hardy Boys were part of the ECW originally.
I do not think so. They came into the WF very fucking young. They came in like 19 years old.
I could have.
This has been Wrestling Minute.
Wrestling. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll
What were you
share
gonna say,
one-
Arlen? You sound like.
No, I do want to point out that the Erin Cummings is the woman who played the villain. She's been in like a million things. Like, she played Richard Klinsky's wife in The Iceman. So yeah, lots of stuff.
Okay.
You got
probably why.
Michael Shannon.
Wait, with Michael Shannon?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that movie.
She's also in Late Phases.
Paints the Iceman in a weirdly positive light for some reason.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I like to sneak up on people, and people say that I move like a cat.
He just starts clicking.
God damn it. But no, like, this is a woman, she's like a constant, like, one of those people who's just...
She's that lady?
Yeah.
Just like a guy with scars from Braveheart. Is it that guy? Because he pops up in fucking everything.
Yeah. Like, she was in The Blacklist and The Disaster Artist and Blue Bloods, and so yeah, she's just one of
Who was she in Disaster Artist?
Female guest.
Never mind.
That was
Okay.
her name.
I thought she was one of the Room characters.
No. But yeah, she's like, she was in *Halt and Catch Fire* for 2 episodes.
It's how much it sucks. It's like you weren't even good enough to be one of the extras in the room.
She's a working actress.
We're all terrible.
That's the best way to put it. She's a working actress.
Right.
Indeed.
And she's making that pay, which is the important.
Well, she's got her SAG card, so she's pretty much guaranteed work. So.
I mean, she cashed that paycheck.
Yep.
That's all that matters.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She was in Spartacus for 2 years, so...
you know what? So was fucking Rhoda Mitra, apparently.
Jesus.
I don't think she was on for 2 years, but she was on Spartacus.
Man, Rhoda Mitra's career kind of flopped a little bit.
Well, the last time I saw her, not just to get cover that again. Last time I saw her was Underworld 3.
Yeah, where she was.
I think it's the last place most people.
Yeah, that was.
Unfortunately,
honestly, she was playing not Selena.
I thought she was playing the young version of Kate Beckinsale.
No, because
she's playing.
Her character dies in Underworld 3.
Oh, okay, never mind.
No, she's playing the character that Bill Nye he adopted Selena to replace her, basically. So
I actually
you can't tell I grew up with those movies.
No, here's the full disclosure. I actually like Rise of the Lycans a lot.
That one's good.
It's got fucking what is it? Michael Sheen. Full he is the main character of the film, and it's like, oh shit, like werewolves are cool as shit, and like the villain in the last 2 movies is here as the hero. This is awesome, and it restructures the plot. We were like, hold on, the werewolves are in the right here.
Yeah. Well, you find out at the end of the first one that they are, and you're kind of like, wow. Yeah. Okay.
But I've always liked aesthetic. Underworld I always find to be aesthetically pleasing. It's just just really stupid, and that Scott Stapp.
Yeah, someone gets killed by helicopter blades. In the second
and
one,
Bill Nye's head
like
gets
the
cut.
second Omen film.
And Bill Nye's head gets cut in half in the first movie.
Yes, it's fucking great. He blinks and then
he blinks and his head pops off.
It's so good.
Anyway, episode 1. Okay, let's talk about this fucking suit.
All
right, here
it's growing on me, but I still don't care.
It looks better on Stephen Amell, I think.
It does.
It does because
it's
a bigger guy.
It's because of the beard.
Yeah.
That's why. It's it completes it.
Grant Gustin is a very small man.
Yeah.
And that suit small.
And that suit is elastic.
And it looks like a body condom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like
him down to like a size lower.
It looks like he's getting ready to go fucking ride a 10-mile in a fucking bike race.
Yes.
My biggest issue with it isn't even like how it fits on his body. It's just his chin. Like there's just something wrong with the way they set that up.
I don't understand. Here's the thing. Like Flash's cowl in the comic is not designed. I think they were trying to go for that because Flash's cowl doesn't.
They totally were.
It doesn't absorb his chin. But the way they designed this is like, no, it's too little. Like you minimized it too much.
Yeah.
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 I think it's I think there's a lot of things, but part of it is I don't think his chin fills it out. Again, that's part of why I think Amell works because his face fills out the suit and it balances out that helmet. Mm-hmm. They didn't do anything to the helmet design other than remove the strap.
Yeah, and honestly, you could have lowered the sides of the temple part a little more and added that Captain America strap that he has in his helmet.
Yes.
Which makes it look like a fucking helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little more of that. But the process of going through his old suits and getting them wrecked was fun.
Yeah.
And to see the season 1 suit again, I was like, okay, I actually forgot how much I missed this suit.
The suit smells.
Yeah, that's awesome. But her showing up with the flash ring finally, and inside, I was like, okay. Yeah. I was like, all right, good job.
And then later on in the episode, they're like, we don't know how to get the suit back in the ring.
I love that. Actually, that's kind of a callback to season 1. Because actually it's season 1 and 2 because Reverse Flash does that in season 1. His suit pops out of his ring and puts it on, and then in season 2, Cisco meets the Reverse Flash that hadn't come back to the past yet to become Harrison Wells, and he looks at him and goes, "How do you get your suit and your ring?" And Reverse Flash goes, "That's what you came down here to ask me? How I got my suit and my ring?"
Yes.
Yeah, and Cisco's like, anyway, change your Chubbuck. He's like, you want to know how I got these powers? You gave them to me. And then he walks away. And then later on, I think in episode 2, Cisco's sitting there and he's like, Like, what are you doing? He's like trying to figure out how to get this suit in this ring.
Actually, one of my favorite things from episode 2 of Flash this season was when they're going to set Iris up in Iris? Yeah, that's their daughter, isn't it?
Nora.
Yeah. Nora, thank you.
No, XS.
Yeah, XS, whatever, Nora.
Yeah.
In a place to stay at Star Labs. They come into that room and Joe has been napping in there since
I love
they
it.
went there. That was the best reveal ever. Like, 'cause I was expecting.
I've been napping here for years.
I like the fact
So
that
good.
like it's almost like a joke come to life because haven't we been saying for years? There's like, Star Labs is a massive building, and these people only hang out in 1 to 3 rooms.
Mm-hmm. Well, just the fact that he's like, man, I've been staying here as long as you guys have been here. It's just like that means you've been sleeping there all the time for how many years now, Joe?
Also, like that means every time you're either off screen or we know you're not at work, you've just been napping.
So he's a narcoleptic then.
I also want to point something about the actor who plays Joe. I didn't see him standing for 2 whole episodes. He was always planted in a seat.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, he's been sitting.
Maybe he had medical things going on.
That's what everyone thinks. I also really liked, Cecile.
Yes.
Yeah. And I liked it, actually her I thought the whole psychic powers thing was kind of lame for a minute. And then I was like, and for some reason, the sappiness of it got me. I was like, no, it's probably really handy for a mom to actually psychically know why her child is crying, and I can see why losing that would be like really traumatizing.
Well, yeah, because it's like she said too, is that she's been psychically connected to the child since it was in her. So that would be quite a traumatic experience to all of a sudden lose that aspect of your bond with the child.
Yep. Yeah, and I was like, that's actually really touching. But I always thought that when they really swing hard for the fences for the family stuff, they always nail it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They always do.
Yeah,
they always do a good job.
Especially when it comes to Joe, I don't think his character has disappointed me once in that regard.
Yeah, he's always my favorite part of what I've watched of the show.
Papa Joe, dude, season 1, he is firing on all cylinders, and unfortunately, his best moment was a deleted scene.
Yeah, you told us about that. Yeah,
he looks at Reverse Flash and goes like, "Yeah, you time travel? I'll fucking time travel too. Watch me do it."
Out of spite.
Anything happens to my boy, and I'll figure it out. And he's like, "You think I won't?" Reverse Flash is like, "No, I totally think you will."
No, please don't hurt me. So, is there anything else we want to say about Flash? These first 2 episodes.
Speaking of Reverse Flash, actually, well, we got to talk a little bit more about Nora.
We should talk about Cicada also a little bit.
Yeah, there seems to be some heavy-handed Reverse Flash teases. More of them, because it seems like it's been going on since the Thinker flashback.
Well, what exactly are you?
It has to come back at some point.
The tachyon enhancements come directly from Thawne. The very deliberate and direct callback, word for word, of when Thawne taught Barry how to phase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like not even just like showing Barry repeat it, but the emphasis on showing Harrison Wells telling him that word for word. The tachyon enhancements, like the newspaper article, still rooted in Reverse Flash. And there was one more thing. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, the suit in the ring, I guess, is technically one of them too.
Well, I'm wondering if with Cicada absorbing, I guess, powers. I mean, it seems to be
maybe,
or in the comics at least, he was absorbing Speed Force from people who had come in contact with the Flash. So, if he's doing the same thing here, I'm wondering if somehow that's going to be involved in bringing Thawne back. That he's going to use him as kind of a battery and take all of that.
That was the other one. That was the other thing, is that they were talking about the reverse tachyons being something that could actually that could negate the Speed Force. Mm-hmm. That's the negative Speed Force.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a title for, but that's the negative Speed Force. It creates it the opposite of the battery. It would act Barry's Speed Force from what he can harness.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought, again, it could be coincidental, but at the same time, I don't know, you guys are teasing me a little bit here.
Well, I mean, after the Earth X crossover, I think they've kind of confirmed that he's going to be back in one way or another, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Parting words are like, "Hey, see you soon."
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I'll probably be wearing a new face, so surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but with Cicada, like, when he went back to his job, I guess it was like, what? Like, are there other guys who are dressing up in those outfits?
I thought he was going back to his fucking evil lair, and because like it's CW, so they even made a joke about Supergirl. Like, would would it surprise you to say if it was an abandoned factory or abandoned warehouse?
Yeah.
Like, he walks through this fucking industrial-looking building. I'm like, yeah, that's some building in Montreal. They probably filmed for his lair. Because, like, Zoom's lair in season 2 was like, that's a storage room that you decorated. But, like, and then he walks and sits down and takes all the shit up. I'm like, this has got to be his evil, who's that? What are you doing? They're co-workers.
No, he's like a janitor or whatever.
Okay,
I love it.
And then he puts his evil gear in the fucking locker.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, it didn't look like he was hiding the knife that well. So I was like, wait,
he wasn't.
Like a cult of people?
No, he was like, it's almost like, what do you got there? Nothing.
Yeah, like,
I was
got in a fight. I'd hate to see the other guy. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? What does he do?
In my head, this is like those places you can go to where you can rent space so you can work like you're in an office. This is that, but for villains, so they have like a space
That works.
where they can do their stuff.
Co-op.
They recast the turtle and like that was him.
Oh god.
Yeah.
I loved it because it's almost like it's in it. If you watch it in a vacuum, it seems like a parody. Like this fucking villain walks in, sits down, starts taking off his gear. It's almost like if Darth Vader like came back to his hideout and like took off all of his fucking like his stuff, but like he keeps his helmet on and then goes sits down at a fuking desk and like gets yelled at by and then gets yelled at by his middle manager or something like that. He just
he goes to his fucking Sauron tower
and then he starts mopping the floors like.
Yeah, but but here's the thing: him not hiding it that well, that's not surprising.
Yeah, well,
it makes him look kind of fun, crazy because he's like, "What do you got there? It's my fucking knife. Go away."
Yeah. Well, also, so I've been in a locker room like that, and you'll find things in those lockers after people have used them that are interesting. I wasn't shocked by that at all.
We also have to point out that Cicada is played by Chris Klein of
Charlie Nash
of American Pie fame, and arguably the worst actor in any movie that's called Street Fighter. And I mean, including Jean-Claude Van Damme. Look, I think he's on screen as Charlie Nash in Legend of Chun-Li for like 4 minutes, and he sucks out loud in every second of those minutes. He is fucking terrible in that movie. He is a special kind of terrible.
He's Chris Klein. What do you expect?
But here,
I don't know. Here, because he has only had to say like 5 words, and like he's got and like I kind of like his look, and he's got this fucking cool knife. I'm like, I kind of like him. Like,
he's working very well. Yeah,
he looks like the conjoined twin of Keanu Reeves that was cut off and thrown away and somehow gained sentience. Like Chris Klein is not worth really watching on screen. But let's see what happens with this character that I think they're going to kill off.
Here's the thing. I actually read something about this season and what they're doing to change it. The structure of this season is not going to be Cicada's not the villain of the season.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Or at least he's not going to be the primary focus. What they're doing is actually they're condensing it. They're changing the season into 3 mini arcs that will interconnect.
That's really smart.
As opposed to dragging out something like Zoom or Savitar for an entire season.
Almost like they realize they should have shorter seasons, but
almost like they listen to this show.
They probably wanted a shorter season, and someone said no. So their answer was, "Let's do these short little chapters." Because Daredevil season 1 worked that way. Because Daredevil season 1 is like 2 different arcs that kind of cross over.
Yeah, well, even season 2 is like
season
that.
2 even more so.
I'm sorry. Yeah, season 2, because the Punisher enters, and like the first half of the season, you could actually watch like I don't know, it's like 6 episodes where he sticks around.
Something like that.
Yeah, you could actually could stop at episode 6
it's 4
for a little while. Yeah, 4, but like that itself is a very contained story, and then Frank goes away for a little while.
he goes away, and then the whole hand stuff begins.
Yeah, and then the stuff with Frank Chester, and then like the end of the show, the end of the season, like those two things begin to cross over in very specific ways.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then cool. Like, hopefully they'll make Cicada a really good villain for these however many episodes.
Hopefully he's built up enough, not killed immediately, and then the end of the season shows back up. For maybe we get 3 villains against Team Flash would actually be really fucking refreshing.
I'm into
that too.
Yeah.
Because then you have an actual that's a believable. That is a believable threat to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that really calls for a team up. Like that calls for everybody in that show. It's like everybody on deck.
Well, and it depends on how long Excess is going to be a part of the season too. Like, is she just going to be a part of this first arc, or is she going to be part of the entire season?
I think she stays around for the first third, goes away for the second, comes back for the third.
Yeah, that would make sense. It makes me wonder what the second arc is going to be in the season.
And that's kind of the joy of this, is that I don't know, but I don't feel like I'm being lied to like I was for Savitar.
Or even the Thinker.
Right.
Well, they came out and said the Thinker's going to be the primary focus of the season, but they never came out and never led us to believe anything of that heinous stupidity was going to happen. Savitar, they flat out lied. They said Dr. Alchemy is the villain for season 3.
Yeah.
But then later on, someone's like, yeah, but they're casting for Savitar, but they're not casting. I guess they said it's going to be. They even said it's going to be a CGI character. I was like, that's weird. But there was no implication that Savitar was going to focus the season.
I'm still mad. Barry didn't walk out of that suit and he didn't have a mustache or some shit.
A goatee.
No, he had gross pizza on his face.
He just had a really bad scar.
I do like that. In that season, we got 2 alternate Barrys, and both of them had a very distracting physical feature that really wasn't that great. Because Future Barry's haircut is the fucking funniest thing.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say somebody had like a baby arm, and then you had Savitar's scarred face.
No, Barry goes to the future to talk to himself, which is the funniest shit. But no, actually, that episode's great because you meet Cisco, and Cisco had his hands frozen and shattered by Killer Frost, so he has Terminator hands.
Oh,
but he's super fucking sad because now he can't vibe.
Oh, okay.
And Barry left him, so Cisco has just been living in Star Labs, hoping every day that Barry was going to come back.
Yeah, it was the best version of Petty Cisco.
Yeah, because he sees Barry again, and he's he's got grayish hair, but he's not it's not because he's old, it's because he's just so fucking withered and sad. And he's got this this stupefied happy look. He's like, "Oh my god, you're here!" Like the master has returned. But actually, that episode has good Joe stuff too, because past Barry goes to see Joe, and Joe won't even turn around and look at him because Iris died, and then in the future Barry fucks off. He just leaves. And Joe's at Iris's grave, and past Barry tries to get a conversation with him going, and Joe is like, I told you never to come speak to me again, so do me a favor and turn around and leave. And he never turns around and looks at Barry. I was like, oh shit, Papa Joe. He mad.
Top that.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you want to talk about with Cicada or Nora?
Nora is slightly annoying at times.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
She sells the character's exuberance for what she's doing.
Yeah, she does.
She's kind of adorable in the way she absolutely worships the fuck out of Barry, and not because she has memories of him being awesome. It's because she doesn't know him.
Yeah, she only knows him from museum exhibits.
Yep.
Yeah. I think she's doing a good job with what her character is supposed to be like at this point. I understand the being kind of annoying, but I think that's the point of her character right now.
Yeah, her enthusiasm is getting in the way. I do love that moment where Barry went and talked to Joe, and he's like, I gotta talk to you about Nora. He's like, I don't understand. I'm telling her to do all this stuff, and she's not listening to me, and I can't get through her head. And do you know what it's like? I have no idea what it's like, because I'm lost here. Do you have any experience with this? And Joe's just smiling, going you son of a bitch. I fucking love that scene. Although it's happening a lot earlier than I'm sure Joe expected.
Yeah.
Because Nora's 20-ish.
Yeah, well, you know, he's used to seeing a bunch of shit. So, I mean, except for when he watches Ralph do stretchy stuff, then he has to puke.
What does he say? He's like, in the 5 years I've been doing this with you, nothing's made me that sick.
Something along those lines.
Yeah. Or he's like, I finally saw something that made me puke. I don't have really much else to say about Flash at the moment. Anybody else does? I don't know. It's here.
Yeah.
I don't
know.
And it has lots of work to do to fix the damage.
It does.
It has potential.
I don't know. Like, I'm gonna keep watching. Yeah. Nothing's put me off yet, but like,
and that's that's like the best thing we can say about it because we were ready to fucking push the show into the Shark Tank last year. I'm
really reliving my Arrow experience. It's not. It's like I feel the same way I did 2 years ago, where I was like, I'm ready to jump off this roof if I need to.
And then, like, I love that fact that like Arrow came back and you're like, this is getting good. And then season 5 was like all of our favorite season that year. Yep. We were like, holy shit! Not only that season was great, that villain was great, everything about Arrow was great, except William. But whatever.
Yep. Well,
Ageless child.
Yeah. I feel like that's a good segue into Arrow because
okay, I think I liked this show the most of everything we saw this week.
Probably. Yeah, I think so too.
Because this
Arrow.
I mean, first of all, remember when like I was screaming about Arrow because how much it fucking pissed me off that one stupid light Civil War episode?
I remember
Derp War.
Oh, you mean the look at the superheroes in the van chase?
You mean that we don't know what to do while we wait for Richard Dragon to become an interesting villain?
Yeah. We still have this Hacker Man plot that we have to dispose of.
Oh God.
Well, that was over, but that was like, I feel like that was there in between, and they were just like paddling. They were like swimming, but they couldn't get to it.
Man, let's just make them fucking fight.
Well, and then they brought Vigilante back in for a bit too. Don't forget.
Oh, that was great, and then he died. Remember him? That was fantastic.
Yeah, remember when they revealed who he was when we didn't remember who that was? That was so great, right, guys?
I like the fact that like he showed up and we all laughed at him. First time.
Yeah.
And then he became a gag, and then he became an actual just like they turned him into a real character. And I was like, oh no, I didn't want this to go that far. And then he died, and I was like, who could care?
Yeah. And then he skied off into the heavens.
And then. Look, that man's edgy, all right? He fucking snowboarded, okay?
Oh, God. He must have had...
He snowboarded to Last Resort by Papa Roach, okay? That's
damn it.
God damn it.
I was trying to get to the Fantastic Four, the Chris Evans, what he was listening to.
Oh, God damn it.
Snowboard too, isn't it? Sub 41?
Yes,
I think it might
Sub 41.
Be.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember
I actually like Sub 41. It kind of sucks that they're a joke.
I don't think I think In Too Deep is pretty bad, but like I think what is the other one? Still Waiting. I can't remember the name of that actual song. I think it's got
the one that plays at the beginning of Final Wars is pretty good.
And I think their initial hit is I still think pretty fun. I've never had a problem with Sum 41. Apparently, the rest of the world, like, here's the thing: like, we shoved Sum 41 off the plank, but then like allowed Good Charlotte to like hang around for a few more years.
Yeah, no, fuck.
Yeah, but that was a little bit afterwards.
That wasn't fair.
I know the singer from Sum 41 also became a terrible alcoholic, like
that
dangerously so.
Like, really bad. That and he was married to Avril Lavigne, which I'm sure didn't help.
Yeah. Well, Avril Lavigne, which one? The real Avril Lavigne or the one that replaced her after she died?
Nope, stop.
No, we're not doing that. Here's the thing. Conspiracy theory you want, but I'm convinced that Avril Lavigne died after that Kawaii video release came out. I think she was vanished by the government because like that video came out and like I haven't seen or heard from her since.
I think she.
This is my favorite conspiracy.
I think she died after the singer from Nickelback just gave her some sweet, sweet love and she just couldn't handle it.
Arlen, have you seen that I'm talking about?
Yes, I know the conspiracy theory you're talking about, and it goes deep.
It does.
It goes real deep.
The one where Avril Lavigne's not really Avril Lavigne.
Yeah, I've seen pictures where people have circled moles that she has on one arm. If she doesn't have them on the other, it must be true. But no,
Right.
Connor was talking about the super weeby video she did.
Oh my god, it
Yeah.
is the most
And it's not even weeby, it's
No.
offensive.
It is
offensive.
okay.
Yeah.
Remember the song "Accidental Racist"? This song should have been called
I
"Accidental
was
Racist."
talking about that song earlier today.
Oh,
That
God,
song, this song and video were some of the most insensitive things I've ever fucking seen from someone. I was like, "You were a superstar at some point. How are you this stupid?"
Wait.
Robert Ely.
Okay, I just want to roll back. Isn't "Accidental Racist" the song where Tim McGraw's like, "Oh, if I forgive the gold chains, you'll forgive the
LL
chains"?
Cool
Yeah.
Okay.
He says, "R.I.P. Robert E. Lee," but I have to thank Abraham Lincoln for freeing me.
Yeah, I think Avril Lavigne's version should have been called "Accidental Racist" too. Whoops.
Probably.
But anyway,
yeah, back to Arrow.
Arrow.
Yeah.
Holy shit, this show got fucking really good.
Yeah.
In
It
a
did.
single episode, they seem to have changed the entire tone of the show.
Yep.
And it seems like they are committed to this idea of Ollie being in prison.
So,
Well,
you
Yeah.
guys think they're doing that? Who was the guy?
Supermax?
Yes.
yeah,
Oh, that's what
Loeb.
the entire internet is convinced that this is what's happening.
I kind of
Yeah.
look like. Honestly, I think it might be.
I
Well,
wouldn't be
especially because like
surprised.
I've heard it put that like Oliver is not going to leave prison; he has to escape prison.
Oh, I hope that doesn't happen for like 8
Maybe.
episodes, maybe 10. Like, please don't let
I
it happen
mean-
too soon.
No, because
It needs to happen
because
before the crossover.
there's no.
So.
Well, I think there might be some kind of like I think maybe
Yeah.
some kind of Squad X.
I want
Yeah.
them to. I want
Kind
them
of
to leave
thing.
him out. like
Possibly.
Lecter.
But like with the way they're framing it, like there's no plan set by anybody to get him out.
Yeah.
Right.
Like as opposed to Team Flash, where like we got to get Barry out of prison. He's been there for like 2 hours.
Well, it was
Like,
nice. It was nice to see like Mad Dog wasn't being a total little bitch. Like he was actually.
I do have. It's both a problem and something I found fascinating, which is like I like the idea of showing a city where vigilantism was so like present that once you removed it, everything just kind of fell back into the bureaucracy, and everything's actually
Yeah.
worse.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you're like, no, we
Yeah.
gotta do this by the system.
Well, and did they?
There's a lady who can control bees, and you're like throwing actual puffs at her.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't catch the end of last season's Arrow, but when did Boring Mick Boring Face, the other version of Siren, not Siren, Black Canary, end up becoming some higher end level of the police? Like, why was she behind?
Oh,
it?
she
That's
was because
she said that
Yeah.
she basically said that Earth One Laurel never died, and she took her
Okay.
place.
Okay, yeah, I do remember that now. Never mind. All right.
Yeah.
Yep. Forgot
and
about
that,
that part.
and then basically she kind of like she caved into the idea like, no, you're not as villainous as you think you are,
Oh,
and
Christ.
kind of did a full face turn.
Yeah, no, I vaguely remember that now.
However, like it seems like Dinah is a character they turn to like, no, we need someone to have resting bitch face and just be generally antagonistic.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like
That-
what
Yeah, kind
Renee
of.
comes and says to her is kind of like he's like, look, like their city's never going to be problem free, and we all gave Oliver our word, like system be damned, that we would kind of continue this. And Dinah's like, no, I'm a cop. No, we gotta follow the rules.
Yeah. I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like her point of view is pretty solid.
Yeah, but
I can see Renee's point of view also.
I feel like
so,
Renee's
yeah.
point of view is I feel a little stronger, especially when like Dinah, you were hell bent on murdering someone, because you
last
you were,
season. Yeah.
like you were having a
Right.
seedy affair.
But that doesn't matter.
You were having a seedy affair with a zombie man,
With Pizza Face.
who was himself a vigilante, and you hid that from the police and your friends.
Yeah.
And then you also
Yeah.
were going to go outside of the law and just murder someone indiscriminately. And then
Right.
when people were like, "Hey,
Yeah.
don't do that," you're like, "Fuck you!" Like,
Well, I'd like to know who did her makeup for this season because it looked like they applied it with a paintbrush. Like it's just, last season, like, and any other time I've seen her, it's like, okay, you know, she looks okay, but this time she looked shiny and like somebody put like an entire tube of lipstick on her.
Yeah.
There's
There's some weird stuff going on. I don't quite understand some of the choices, some smaller choices, but I don't know.
But like
they're nailing the Oliver stuff.
showing up looking like a just fucking straight up hipster.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though. I kind of like it though. I'm really into it.
Well, that fits into her origin where she's all like gothed out.
Yeah,
so
I spent like the fucking nose ring. I was like, all right, Emily Bet, I get you.
Well, that was the thing. Like you would in the chat, you would post an Instagram photo from Amel's Instagram, I guess it was, and it was them hanging out wherever, probably in Canada. And I saw that she had a septum piercing, or she had a septum ring on. I'm like, I wonder if she has one in real life. And then I saw the episode. It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. And I'm glad to see that this season of Arrow is continuing the tradition that I guess last season of Supergirl did of having to crush somebody's chest with something very heavy.
Okay, all right. We're gonna sit here and talk about how fucking awesome. Even if this prison looks like it's filmed inside of an old Walmart, with like really dark lighting.
It's just a Toys R Us.
It honestly, some of the scenes look like the fucking prison from Ricky Ho. Just lit really poorly.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
it's the same prison from the Flashlight.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's like I didn't find it distracting. I just noticed at some point. But like, these were all really fascinating, and I love the fact that he's in there with people who just want to fuck him up every day.
Yeah, it's
who was Vinnie Jones in Arrow?
He's Brick.
Okay.
He's the character Brick. He took over the city during season 3 because Roz killed Oliver. So yeah, he was in control of everything.
Okay, that was Vinnie Jones, because there was a couple shots where I was like, wait, that's not him. That just looks a lot like him.
Yeah.
So,
and like Michael Jai White is fucking awesome, and like Cody Rhodes is there too. I'm like, this is really awesome.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, Oliver should have crushed that man's chest with that weight.
Okay, no. First of all, Oliver should have caved that man's skull in the first shot with the weight. Okay.
Yeah, well,
because that wasn't like he walked up to him and just cracks him in the temple.
Yeah,
like that's death that he did.
Yeah.
It kind of tells you the difference between Daredevil and Arrow.
Yeah,
true. Yeah,
that guy would have had a caved in skull. Daredevil season 1 is a man who impales his own forehead on a fucking a fence.
Right.
And then someone gets decapitated
real quick.
Corridor.
Yes.
Real quick, that moment made me shout because I wasn't ready for Marvel to give me that level of Punisher Warzone-esque violence.
Blood that comes out of his neck.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's pretty gruesome.
I love Daredevil.
Which again, it still tickles me that like Frank Castle can be beating 6 people to a pulp with a sledgehammer, and then like Hell Broke Loose by Tom Waits comes up, but they censor the word fuck. I'm like, what are you guys doing? What are we doing here?
The worst part about that is
we're a child-friendly show, guys.
The worst part of that is in Daredevil season 2, like when he's like going through the prison, like killing all those people. They don't cut away for a lot of that.
I think doesn't he like when he's on the ground with one of those dudes, doesn't he shank him like 7 times in the stomach?
He does.
Yep, and then
it's really brutal.
He like tears someone's throat open with like a pencil or something.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
But so Oliver's in prison, and like he seems to be under the impression that like, nah, he's like, I'm here to be in prison, and that's it. Like, this is my fucking penance. And his old villains, fucking Michael Jai White as Bronze Tiger, Cody Rhodes as Cody Rhodes, I guess. Whatever, I fucking love.
Well, he's the guy who doesn't feel pain.
Yeah,
remember, he doesn't feel anything.
Yeah.
I guess.
I thought he was invincible. He just doesn't die.
I don't really remember the rules exactly.
Yeah.
So.
And Vinnie Jones being Brick, like I hope there's more. I hope there's a couple more people who have been around who have been arrested.
Probably.
But him being there, just kind of surrendering to the process and just sitting by himself, I'm like, this is really good, and this feels like a whole different show. And then, like, the nightmare he has about Felicity getting shot, and then Diaz just fucking showing up at Felicity's apartment.
Yeah.
I'm here to put a bullet into it.
Well, and the fact that, all right,
Aaron!
So he's supposed to be this ridiculous, like, criminal that's obviously a well-versed fighter, and she almost took him out if she would have gotten a few more good hits in with the
let's be honest,
fire poker.
Let's be real. Like, Diaz was done in by Felicity Smoke, who is technically paralyzed, Technically paralyzed.
God damn it, that's right. I erased that from my memory.
She is technically paralyzed and a 10-year-old.
Yes.
Because, like, fucking William runs up and throws hot water at him.
What was coffee?
In my head, Diaz let them go because he's a maniac.
No, let him go. I want to chase him later. This is really fun.
I needed this.
I'm gonna set him on fire eventually.
I don't feel much, but this makes me feel alive. I got a mad erection walking up the stairs. I love doing that voice.
I gotta say, I'm really enjoying having a villain stick around.
Yeah.
I know. He's an endless source of entertainment. Oliver Queen
really
together
good.
for me. So I'm gonna stalk his wife. he's like if Al Pacino got winded.
Well, that's the thing. His Al Pacino impression is broken down into something otherworldly.
But he's not just that's just the way he talks.
Yeah.
I was also in Planet of the Apes. I was a piece of shit there
Someone doing a
too.
bad Nicolas Cage impression. Like from the other room.
Yeah.
There's so many variations of the Nicolas Cage voice. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. And here's the thing: my voice is
You're
not
a
at
vicious
100.
snowflake.
My voice is not at 100% because I was at Bonnie Screams last night, palling around with Slender Man. We're fucking friends now, right? And by the way, he told me he didn't tell those girls to stab that other girl. Okay, all right, he's absolved of guilt.
He didn't think they'd do it.
By the way, however, he's a very, very excellent dancer. I can say that much. He's very flexible for being that tall.
He doesnking even have a castle. What are those little kids talking about?
Was he almost as tall as I am?
Huh?
Or was he as tall as I am?
I don't know, Hunter. I've heard you're as tall as a tree. I've heard you're just 7 feet of legs.
I think so, probably.
I heard you have a six-pack.
I do.
Yeah, he has a 6-pack on his calf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Your Hunter Davenport's real shit.
I knew you were Kylo Ren when you threw him into the soda machine. I knew from hi, I'm Matt.
I hear Daredevil shredded. No, he's not. He's a
I heard he has an 8-pack. Every fight scene with Oliver in prison was awesome. Including the aforementioned because Diaz makes an attempt on Felicity's wife, and then the chain of communication is oh yeah, no, Diaz is there. It's a foregone conclusion that she's dead. So Lurch comes in and tells Oliver that fucking Felicity's dead. And this is right after Ollie's fucking had enough and sends a man through a shower wall with his bare hands.
Yeah.
He elbows a man through a stone structure.
It's really good.
It's awesome. And this is after Bronze Tiger, Brick, and Cody attempt a 3-way stabbing, and it just goes south. Oliver beats the head of all 3 of them.
And somehow he puts the shank back on Bronze Tiger's body somewhere. I don't know where.
Yeah, he hands it back to him. Or he somehow gets it back into his hands. The cops take it from him. I also unlike Barry's stint in prison, there is an immediate sense of no, this is a status quo for a while, because just the way he would wake up and that his fucking shitty security guard, morning inmate, blah 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 blah. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah,
it kind of reminds me of
that cop. By the way,
he's great. He's very Shawshank.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end when he knows Oliver's gonna go fucking beat those guys up, and no one does anything, and I'm this is really fucking cool. And they're nah, let's see what the Green Arrow's gonna. Oh, we hit him with a weight.
Yep. Well, first he hits that one guy with a book. I'd like to know what book he was planning to go out in the yard and read.
It's a secret.
Didn't he take the book and stab that dude in the fucking...
It's a secret.
Did he take the book and jab some guy in the throat with it?
No, that I was hoping.
I think he did.
I thought he just slammed the guy in the side of the face with it, and then.
I don't care either way. It looked awful. It looked so painful.
It's you get hit with a book a hardback like that, you're gonna feel it.
Yeah,
the
bindings in this book are pretty tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved pretty much everything about this episode. I think my only gripe was Dinah, but even then I'm like, it's fucking whatever. So who do we think the new Green Arrow is?
It's his son from the future.
Roy.
Yeah, it's future. Yeah, it's future William.
Okay, did we all jump to this conclusion by ourselves? Did we read the same article I did?
I know.
I
just
assumed
assumed
it
based on the way the episode ended that it was future William.
Well, I assumed it was whoever was going to the island. I didn't realize it was William until we got to the
well,
end.
By the way, our theories are wrong. William is not the timeless child. He ages.
Yeah, that's true.
He does.
Wait,
but then again, we don't know when that flashback takes place.
I know who it is.
That's flash forward.
I know who it is.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
Which also,
it's Patty.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Patty Smith.
God damn it! God damn it!
I'm so glad this joke will never die.
That from before the show's creation.
Actually, Oliver's son is still a timeless and immortal being. He just waited until time passed so far into the future that it circled back on itself. So now he's coming back to when there's a younger version of himself before he goes.
What
to
is
the
this
future.
fucking Futurama? Like,
yeah.
Time is.
Also, I want to say something.
He waited for the Big Bang to happen, and then just waited patiently for Earth to start up again.
Yeah. And he sat through. He's
floating in the
like
Bender.
Yeah,
he's floating through the fucking void. He's like, any day now, Earth's gonna pop up. Yep. Wait for it. There it is, the Big Bang. I've been waiting for it.
Yeah, but
nailed it.
But yeah, like I predicted the flash forwards thing a while ago, and I'm surprised that they actually did it. But here's the thing: it supports my theory that they actually listened to the show.
WB execs and CW execs.
I know a lot of the general consensus is actually that it's Roy, but I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
No. Well,
my other
interesting
wild-ass theory that seems to be possible, but like is probably unlikely, is that it's Thea. But I think it's pretty much established that it's a male.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dude.
Yeah. Well,
it's a
The
guy.
other thing was like at the end, when Dinah was talking to Renee and saying like, "Oh, all that money that went to all those people, like, how did he get the flash drive that had all of the cryptocurrency on it, or was that different money that he was giving to all of the people?"
I think whoever this arrow is gave it to him. I'm guessing.
Okay.
Maybe. And that's the other thing that makes me think it's William is that he has a list, which is a callback to the first season. Real hardcore callback to the first season, actually.
Well, other crazy idea being that Renee got the money from this other arrow. Maybe it's his daughter, and she's from the future, and she's angry, and she's trying to help out her dad get back with Mr. Terrific.
I can see that. Yeah. God damn it! Damn you,
Mr. Terrific, who was the only one who really wasn't prominently featured.
No, like he has a tech job for Argus now, which that makes sense.
Also, I like the fact that like now that like I said, you take away vigilantism and people slide back into like old but possibly unhealthy routines. Like Diggle is now just he seems like an Argus yes man.
Yeah, he's kind of
any semblance of Spartan is gone. He's like, yep, gotta do my job.
Yeah.
Well, the light burned out in his helmet, so he doesn't know what to do anymore.
The fire fades. Sounds like a Dark Souls sequel here.
I'm just imagining
the light in his helmet faded, like the fires
also,
of eons ago.
We need to talk about future Roy's beard and how awesome it is, because it's the reveal of that is pretty cool.
It's like Pepper with gray hair, and I kind of like it. It looks like
it's really
he looks slightly more convincing than old Oliver from Legends of Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. And it answers my concern when they announced him initially, the whole Thea thing or whatever. But clearly something happened because he's on the island now.
Yeah, he's on an island that was blown up, and he's living there.
Yeah.
In his arsenal gear. Not a reference to Metal
And there are
Gear.
graves there, which is weird. I wonder whose graves those are.
Graves? I thought it was just one.
I saw multiple graves.
Holy
I might
shit, really?
have not been paying attention. Yeah. I mean, some of them were pretty obvious, like William's mom.
Yeah,
is
I'm sure
there,
someone,
but I remember.
I'm sure
seeing
someone was like,
more of
"Well, I
them.
guess we'll put one up for Artemis."
Yeah, I guess. And fucking
Merlin and
Yeah.
Captain Boomerang as well.
yeah. Captain Boomerang gets a grave with a teddy bear on it. Not a teddy bear.
A
What
pony?
is his thing? I can't remember. A pony. Yeah.
But this episode was fantastic, and it's kind of got me really like I was really enthusiastic going into this. Now I'm even more enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Especially because
jonesing
this
for
like
episode
this
2.
fucking this whoever like if it's William, like regardless of how we feel about William, his action as Green Arrow is really interesting because he's like pop pop pop, everybody's dead. I'm gonna fucking fling this guy into a shipping crate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very surgical.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Apparently, I know this season is going to go into the longbow hunters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is something I'm not familiar
Pretty
with.
soon too. Yeah.
I don't really know a whole lot. I know it's a very like renowned run from Green Arrow way back in the 80s, but they were a group that was supposed to be as talented, if not more so, than Oliver was. But I don't know much more than that.
I mean, are they good guys or bad guys?
Bad guys.
They're
if I
like
remember
warriors.
correctly. Yeah.
Like,
I think.
my understanding is that they have a code, basically, and they just I read some like wikis on them.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking it up now. Continue as you were.
That's really. I know it's the prison thing's gonna be a while, and like the longbow hunters is pretty much the only thing I know about this season going forward.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Which again isn't. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say this was a time that Green Arrow had gotten rid of all his trick arrows. He went back to just traditional bow and arrow skills, and Shadow was a part of the longbow hunters. Shado. She was I think the wife of his son in the comics, or the mother of his son in the comics. I can't remember. Yeah. Yeah, it introduced the character Shadow, which was a big part of the Green Arrow lore.
Okay.
But outside of that, yeah.
I regrettably don't know enough about Green Arrow at this point. But I did. I like. Yeah.
We're losing you, Connor.
Well, hello.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can do my vocal glue again. That's the thing. I read Rebirth, the Green Arrow title, and I got interested, and I read I think a few issues, and then dropped off. I got to pick it back up again.
The Jeff Lemire run of Green Arrow was really good. That was the New 52. There's a hardcover of I forget how many issues it was, but it was phenomenal. It was really good.
I think I need to get some New 52. Maybe maybe it's on this volume because in addition to having still not finished Port of Owls. Yep, throw your stones. There's I've never really read New 52 Flash in sequence. I picked it up out of order and read an issue here, an issue there. And I had never touched a single New 52 Superman. I missed out on most of
you
the
don't
entire
really
run,
need
to be honest.
There's not a ton that was super great in New 52. Like Swamp Thing was great. Green Arrow, at least the Lone Green stuff was
okay.
What was?
Animal Man was okay.
Animal Man was decent.
Animal Man was good. Yeah.
But yeah,
there's some good stuff in there.
Yeah, but as a whole, it was kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked Justice League Dark until they switched writers for the fourth time or whatever, and it got real uninteresting.
Did anybody see the Legends teaser where Constantine makes a very, 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 very direct Swamp Thing reference?
I was told about this.
Same.
And it's kind of almost as if Swamp Thing may even show up in this show. I doubt it, but it was such a horror tease. I was like, "Are you gonna do it?"
No.
Constantine,
no, they're gonna catfish me till the end of my days.
I guess Constantine, something happens in the teaser, and Constantine goes he's like, "Wow, it's like some kind of swamp creature," and someone says that, and he goes, "Oh, I knew a Swamp Thing."
Yeah, that's going to be it, and then there'll be a flash at the end of it saying watch the new Swamp Thing series on the DC streaming app.
And is Swamp Thing going to become Arlen's dragon?
Yes,
it will become my dragon. It is.
Because I'm still upset.
We can be upset together about this. No dragons and no swamp things.
Okay.
Oh, that dragon. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
but at least Arlen's dragon is going to have a chance of becoming a reality because of the DC show. But you're never going to see your dragon.
I still don't believe that show's happening. So,
hey, they cast for it, or some of it.
I mean,
that streaming service might crash though before when they get to make it.
Why? What
it
have
die.
you heard in regards to that?
Nothing in particular, but just like I'm not seeing a lot of people talking about being subscribers.
Yeah.
So,
okay, I'm gonna take this moment to double down on something I said a few months ago. You shouldn't have sold this service with that god awful Titans teaser, and even now that show is out, I'm not hearing very great things about it. And some of the things about it, quite frankly, are fucking appalling, and it makes me not want to watch the fucking show. Like, I'm sorry,
maybe
I don't need erectile dysfunction drama in my show about the Teen fucking Titans. Okay?
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have launched with a better show.
Yeah, and not created. Maybe you should have launched that teaser for that Harley Quinn cartoon because I was super into that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Which was one of the most like. I couldn't believe that ad spends. Well, no, it's not shitting on Deadpool. That ad spends a gratuitous amount of time shitting on its own fan base. Because Poison Ivy's like, well, I mean, they're DC fans, so they're going to hate everything. And then Harley Quinn's like, you'll love it. And she goes, no, they're going to hate it.
Yeah.
And Batman popping in and going, no fun here.
I'm not a huge fan of the choice they made for voice actresses for Harley. Like, I forget who it is. It's not that I don't like the actress. She doesn't sound right to me. Like, I don't know what it is, and I'm not.
That's fair.
I'm not trying to pull like an Alan and say like I only can have this actress. It just doesn't sound right to me.
Honestly, I'm just not that big a fan of Harley Quinn.
Well, that too.
I agree.
Yeah.
I am on that team.
I think she's cool, I guess, but it's like.
I mean, like, so the first Suicide Squad episode they did on Arrow, they had like a woman who was clearly Harley Quinn in behind a door or whatever say something, and it was a joke, and it was really fun, and it was interesting to see. But that's as far as I needed it to go. Yeah. Like, I didn't need them to bring.
Well, they got Tara Strong to come in and dub that over, didn't they?
Yes, I believe they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it was just a random woman, one or the other. So.
It was someone doing a Tara Strong impression.
Maybe, probably.
But yeah, Arrow's fucking great.
Arrow's great.
Really fucking excited for it to go forward. And I'm really liking the status quo they have set forward. And I hope it stays this way for a while because I want to have whatever changes happen. I want them to feel earned, and I want them to feel at the right time. I don't want a Savitar. Okay, don't drag this out, but find the sweet spot, please.
Yeah.
Don't go to episode 22 of 23 season and have Savitar go calcified Speed Force.
And if you come up with a solid reason to have Oliver out of prison, don't have him decide not to because he's a stubborn asshole like Barry did.
Yeah.
Because
maybe he like because at this point, with the way the show is structured, his prison sentence, he's in prison for life, isn't he?
Yes.
And it's not like, and there's no subterfuge, there's no manipulation like with Barry's case where it clearly wasn't him. Like Oliver Queen is the fucking Green Arrow, and he was caught red-handed, and then he confessed, and he was tried, and he was sentenced, and he is in prison. Like the system was, the system did what it's supposed to do, and Oliver's like, "Yup, gonna be in here forever." I think what happens is he might get an opportunity to possibly, quote unquote, die in prison. And then live his life in secret for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like doing a Dark Knight Returns thing where he has to live underground for the rest of his days. Until maybe later on in the show, like something so catastrophic happens that forces him to come forward, and the world is like, okay, like maybe putting you away for life was a bad decision.
Yeah, I mean, or they can just do Crisis, which they're going to do. So, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Crisis would be the thing that makes people go like, yeah, okay, maybe having you locked away is not such a good idea.
Yeah. Also, if you reboot the timeline, you could just have it be like, Oliver was never the Arrow. He was never the first one. Any number of things. Yeah. Okay, should we do Supergirl?
Yes, we
now,
should.
I guess.
Hey, I didn't hate Supergirl.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't super impressed by it, but I also didn't outright.
Dare I say, I liked it.
Yeah,
Wow, that's a turnaround.
it was good.
Like,
I mean, we should talk about what apparently went down at the end of last season that we missed out on,
Yeah,
because
I have no clue.
apparently the Kryptonians invaded.
What?
What?
wait.
Apparently,
That's taken from a Neil Adams thing.
okay, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just was like, okay, so Man of Steel happened at some point.
Yeah.
Clearly.
So
Okay.
hold on.
That's
Hold
what I
on, hold on.
interpreted.
Wait. Season 2 ended with fucking.
We lost you.
Nope.
Yeah, we lost you again.
Come again.
Nope.
Ah.
No. Connor sounds like it sounds like Robot Connor right now.
Yeah.
It sounds like Connor Droid.
Connor bot.
Nope. Here it goes.
Connor
Nope. Bye, Connor.
If we were professional, I would edit this out.
No.
Yeah, but
But
you're
I
not.
won't.
No, this is funny. Gold. This is a good bit.
All right.
This is really good stuff.
Hello.
Kind of there.
Clearer, better.
We're having bad
I
internet out
guess.
here, so it might be the case.
Yeah, you had said that
Yeah.
earlier in the week.
Yeah, we had a mega thunderstorm this morning.
Oh, that'll do it. It'll
Yeah.
take out
Am I
any
back?
structure.
Am I fucking back now?
Yes, you are.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
That'll take
What?
out any structure that isn't sand in the desert.
What goddamn is Monel from?
He's
Not Krypton. That's just called
Okay,
that. Fucking
last season the
no,
not Kryptonians invaded, and then I'm sorry, the season before the not Kryptonians invaded, and then this season, this past season, the Kryptonians invaded. Are you fucking kidding me?
Apparently they did.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Nope. Don't care. Don't care.
Apparently they did. They went to Kandor, I guess, and some shit. Like,
What?
I don't know.
Monel. Fuck. I'm drawing a blank here.
I don't know. I don't know where Monel is.
Daxamite. There we go.
Yep.
Samsonite.
Yeah.
Oh, I was way off.
And like, John's dad died. I don't know when that happened, but that happened at some point.
Yeah, like a bunch of stuff got thrown at me as far as changes. I was like, okay, all right, that must have happened off screen. Not knowing it totally happened.
Well, did it happen last season near the end and we missed it that John got that
It must
terrible
have.
haircut?
Well, we did
man,
because we missed 5 whole episodes.
Right.
So like, yeah.
his hair looked
We
terrible.
didn't watch the.
No,
I mean, a lot of people's hair changed, which could be a number of different
Hey,
things.
hey,
it could just
I
be a
am-
season
I am-
Alex.
in between.
I am-
Alex's hair looked good.
I am way,
Yeah, it did.
way into Alex right now.
I'm into it. I'm just saying, like,
But then again,
people's hair.
then again,
changed.
I've been
I
into
get that.
Alex since I laid eyes on her the first time. So
Yeah, I agree. And they seem to have just like backed off of Brainiac as the gray guy. with white hair.
here's the thing. The first time I saw Brainiac, I was like, that's fucking dumb. This is like, it's like Cisco on fucking Adderall, and
Yeah.
it's really entertaining.
Yeah,
Well,
but
the-
Wind is just gone. Also, that's the other thing we need to point out. He's just
Well, that was the
There.
other thing they had was they had the alien support group where John was
Mm-hmm.
obviously, but I mean that's how they're explaining. I guess that Brainiac doesn't have the gray skin is that he's wearing an image inducer of some sort because you
Yeah.
saw that one
I
alien,
guess.
which I guess they
Yeah.
introduced that at some point at the end of last season that we all missed.
Well, we
well,
didn't
here's
see
the
that
thing.
with
Here's the
Brainiac.
thing.
We saw him using
Yeah,
it.
actually my explanation for that is that season 3 H.R. Wells sold them that holographic face changer that he had.
Okay,
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. Cisco
Maybe.
breached over.
Well, we know Lena's selling them now.
Yeah.
So
By the way, I didn't know
Yeah.
Lena had a falling out with Supergirl.
I guess she did. Well, no, she did have one last season, but I don't remember the context behind that.
well, and Jimmy apparently was indicted for something, and then he was cleared of all charges. Like, what was
That was something that they set up last season because remember he had to reveal himself.
Vaguely.
as-
Goddamn dumb show.
Yeah.
I feel like that probably happened when my body went into defense mode and just made me go to sleep.
No, that's understandable though. That's the thing. That's completely believable. What else happened? I don't know. Clearly, there's some stuff where it's like, I think we were alive for that. we were present, but we just don't remember.
I think we were just so burned out on it that we're just like, nah, who cares? Nah.
Yeah. Yeah, and clearly, I guess Samantha survived. They did not kill poor Sauron, I guess. I don't know.
Wait, where did you see her? What happened there? What do you?
No, we didn't see her, but they mentioned her.
Oh, they did.
Her and Ruby are living happily ever after.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, yeah. After they shoved all
yeah,
guts back into her.
on a farm somewhere.
Yeah, a farm where kids that don't have guts inside their bodies go.
They're okay. They never died. They're at a farm making buttermilk. Batman, you not know what death is? I know what death is.
My parents are on a farm. They're not dead.
They're fine. They're on a farm. And then he shoots Penguin in the head. God, it's great.
But yeah, so with Supergirl,
Penguin's on a farm now.
we're already going so far off the track with Supergirl. I don't know.
No, I said before, I really like Brainiac. I like his very ADHD idea of help, where he's like what does he fucking do? He's like making my calculations. Gonna go help now. I'm back.
Well, I really
he screams Legion as he flies off. He's like, the Legion. He's the only one there.
I really like the DEO's costumes. Like their uniforms were pretty great.
I was gonna say they look. I think they're like the best looking extras uniforms of anybody in these shows.
Well, they're all clearly the Legion uniforms, which is cool. Actually,
Arlen, you just mentioned offhand. Where the fuck is Will?
I don't know.
What the fuck happened to him?
Wynn is gone somewhere.
See, he's so non-consequential. I forgot his name.
Yes. I mean, having two wins makes no sense. So I guess it. Oh no, he did go off. He went off with the Legion, which I guess that's. I don't know how you would be useful to them because he's Miles' personal meat shield. Yeah.
Go out there and see what's going on. I can't breathe on that planet. I said go, monkey. Get out there. I can't breathe. Good assessment. Get back on the ship.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of stuff happened. They did introduce some new characters.
And one of them died.
Including Kara too, I guess. I don't know
at the very end of the episode.
She said her name was Nia Nall, and that for some reason made me I know that name. And I googled her. Apparently, this is the first transgender superhero on TV or in movies, and they actually casted a trans woman.
Yes.
And I guess Dreamer is the character she is in the comics, which I know nothing about.
I know nothing about this character either, but she's there.
Where did we see her then in this episode?
She's
the girl who's doing the fashion stuff.
She was the one who ran in the elevator with Kara, and she's running her fucking mouth and like motor mouthing, and then she's like, and then Kara's like, oh my god, you're me, which I thought was cute. Like Kara having to fucking mentor someone is like, oh, look at you, you're all of my old flaws bundled together in one nice little package.
And Jimmy's like, you have become Cat Grant,
which is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I thought the episode opened really strongly, just showing Supergirl doing Supergirl things,
and then it's so good you've been pulling your weight since Superman was off planet.
Okay, wait. Should we wait till the end to talk about the very end of the episode? Because oh my god, what did they set up there?
What the fuck was that? And was that Kara?
Yeah,
that was okay. My guess is, and this is just I'm just spouting it out here. That's a Russian clone.
Oh my god, are we doing Superboy?
Maybe. With Supergirl?
Okay, here's the thing. Young Justice, their Superboy comes in as a weird. I think it's an Argus clone.
No, he's a Cadmus
clone.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, in Young Justice, he's a Cadmus clone. Now, here's the weird part about that, where several different DC properties and unofficial properties interconnect. The joke on Young Justice Abridged is that he is a Russian clone of Superman.
Interesting.
Oh my. That is interesting.
Interesting.
Oh,
Huh.
so I really hope this is true. I think the people in Young Justice Bridge are gonna lose their fucking minds.
I mean, probably.
Well, didn't something happen in last season that they showed a Supergirl, or at least someone that looked like Kara, walking in Russia at some point?
Earth X?
No.
I don't remember this.
There was. I thought I'd read somewhere that something that alluded to a version of Red Sun happening.
Oh, wait a minute! I heard
Supergirl.
I saw this talked about in an article months ago, and I just didn't read it.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm wondering if this is going to be an alternate universe version of her, or what the case is going to be. Because I mean, they didn't say alternate universe Russia or anything like that. So is it supposed to be another Kryptonian who landed in Russia? And we're going to do the whole
I
Red.
think she's a
I
clone.
think it's a clone. It looks just like fucking
Yeah.
Melissa Benoist.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's either it might be a clone. It could be like a time clone. I don't know.
Oh god,
to
time
do with
remnants
that.
are infecting Earth 3.
Yeah, I could see that.
Someone
But
at
it could also
some of the
just be a straight
CEOs
clone.
hold on, what's a time remnant? And Harrison Wells rolls in. He's like, all right, I'm gonna explain this to you one more fucking time.
Yeah, but I'm curious to see what they do with this, because it's kind of a play on Nazi Supergirl from last season, from the crossover. So I guess it makes sense that they would do this, because that worked out extremely well.
And actually, it could be a nice in-canon callback to the point where Supergirl's I've had to fight. It'd be cool to have her say I had to look at what I could become twice now.
Yeah, it could be very interesting. Yeah.
Also, and because
she wouldn't
the show's
be-
leaning so hard into the the racial tension parallels, and it's the whole anti-alien sentiment. What if it is a clone that is done specifically to rally up anti-alien sentiment because they'll see someone who looks just like Supergirl fucking doing something heinous?
Yeah, I mean, and she is Russian, which wow, that plays into some modern day
Well,
stuff.
I mean, that's what this show has always been good at. It seems, because I mean, even having
Which even this, it's this episode. I was like, you guys are leaning to this hard.
Oh yeah, they
And
are.
good on
this
you
is
for
what
doing
I told them
so.
to do. This is something that they did a couple times in season 2, but they never committed to it. And this season, they're really going for it, and I have to give them some praise for
this
it.
felt serious to the point of post 9/11 anti-Muslim sentiment, where it's I can't even go out wearing the customary clothing of my people because I'm afraid I'll get firebombed.
Yeah.
And it felt like that, but mixed in with the racial tensions of what's going on in this country today, with people stoking the flames of anti-Semitism and racism and far dangerous right-wing policies. And yes, they are. Don't argue with me. Also, Rona Mitra is back on the screen as Mercy Graves, which I saw her on screen. I was like, who the fuck is this? And didn't have any idea who they were. First of all, I didn't know there's a second Graves kid. I had no idea.
Well, that's just Otis. That's they just made him a Graves.
Oh, okay.
I think
All right.
I don't think that's a comic book thing, but
Otis
is bringing back Otis is cool.
I kind of and they were immediately likable. And I saw Mercy, and I was like, why do I know that woman's face? And for a second, I'm like, is that the woman from Hot Shots 2 who moves her mole around? And I was like, no, it can't be. And then I googled it, and I was like, Rona fucking Mitra? I was like,
yeah.
See, I only knew her from Doomsday and from I didn't even see the Underworld movie she was in, but I knew she was in Underworld. But I always thought she was supposed to be playing a young version of Kate Beckinsale. I was convinced that's what she was genetically created to be, was a younger version of Kate.
Well, no,
Beckinsale.
she's a mixed. She's an Asian mixed actress. I don't know what she is, but she's a mixed.
I was not aware of that.
She was also in the Ali G movie, apparently.
Okay.
Learn that
Yeah,
through
you
Google.
know. Sure, why not? I mean, she's British, so.
But
Hunter
Bot 2000 is here. Who wasn't in the alley?
I like Daredevil.
No, you gotta make it sound more like my whole model for that was the commentary from the first SmackDown game to get on PS2, because the commentary was the most chopped up, butchered, AI gone rogue sounding shit I've ever seen. Where Taz on commentary would go, Triple H is great. Or he do something like he's like Stone Cold Steve Austin is my favorite wrestler.
That's so weird. My first reference would always be Back to the Future 2.
I do not.
It's all...
not wish I was dead.
Or like Kaz would go like he would say something like the match type. He'd go, "The Hell in a Cell is great."
They had that Rush Hour too. Like they would yell out like Rikishi gets twisty rockets.
Yes. Yeah, it's this weird zombie robot commentary tracks. That's what it reminded me of. Or at least that's what I based it off of. But yeah, Mercy Graves is in this fucking show, and that's kind of awesome because I think it's like I feel like it's a long letter, it's a long form apology for going sorry for those people who blew her up on screen last time you saw her.
Yeah.
And I like how they're immediately like they didn't nerf Supergirl, but they found out creative ways to just get her out of the building for a couple minutes.
Yeah. Well, there obviously would be people who have come up with weapons specifically to fight Kryptonians by this point.
And they're not
so
like
it's
not something like
me.
It's not hocus pocus. Like she said, no gravity cuffs. I'm like, oh, that's nothing's gonna fight those. It's they're designed to do one thing, which is rip you down to the earth. And then use this like the sound, which is I guess that's a Kryptonian thing. Like I guess that's universal. Like extreme sound waves hurt them. And like whatever that concussive laser blast was, I'm like that probably didn't hurt, but it probably it was nice and distracting. Like
yeah. Cyclops could easily fight Supergirl.
Which is like it's way. I'll take this over like, oh no, Supergirl's drowning. What? She doesn't have to breathe in space.
Yeah.
So I like them almost immediately because they showed up and they had like they were immediately threatening. Didn't look goofy. However, that alien they were butchering sure looked goofy.
Well, that was my big problem with that. It was him saying like, "I've got my tusks." No, you don't, motherfucker. You have bone shards sticking out of your forearms. Those aren't tusks.
Yeah, you're calm down there, Marrow.
Exactly. Tusks emerge from your face, not from your arms, asshole. And another thing.
I mean, maybe he has tusks on his...
dumb looking.
Maybe he has tusks there. I don't know. We don't know. I mean, come on. Yeah.
It was. I mean, it's. I can't say there was anything about any of these premiere episodes that I hated. Like,
I'm not a fan of this villain so far. This Son of Liberty dude.
This dude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I had no idea.
He's not that interesting.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Like, he feels like he's very on point with what they're like. Their Make America Great.
Right.
People are fucking evil, and like that is it's. He's kind of perfect for it, especially if he's called the Son of Liberty. I'm like, ooh, that's good, bravo.
Yeah. But his costume is like
his costume looks like he wandered off like set of Metropolis.
I mean, he looks like Guardian, but after Guardian's been like set on fire.
Yeah, he looks like fucking the Meltman version of Guardian.
Oh Jesus!
Meltman with power to melt. Actually, now, bitches. No, here's the problem, and this goes back to us even covering Flashpoint for Flash Season 3. Premieres are like... Well, actually, the Flash Season 4 premiere really angered us, I remember, distinctly. Because that's when Iris is like, cool, Samuroid, kidnap me. It'll work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I was more angry about Love saving the day, because...
that whole sequence is infuriating. But, like... The problem with Season 3 of Flash is that Flashpoint, if you watch that show as a contained episode, it's really fucking good. Because Matt Letcher is there as Reverse Flash, and he's like, every moment he's on screen, he's like, this scenery is delicious. And then, like, while he's there, and, like, it's a decent little, like, Cisco's a fucking rich prick, because he inherits Star Labs. And it's a fantastic episode that has a really cool ending, which actually that ending of that episode is the launch pad for him to go into Legends Season 2. So the whole thing feels really nice when you sit through it, and I love the fact that Reverse Flash basically, while time traveling, found time to shave.
Yeah.
The fucking funniest thing ever. He leaves the beard and comes back clean shaven and goes like, everything's back to normal. Well, not for me. Some things are different. And I'm like, is it the beard? Are you trying to make a joke? And I'm like, or is it the timeline, which I'm just as excited for. But that episode's great, and like premieres are kind of where they go like, start the show off right, and then it's the following episodes when they start to fucking goof. Yeah. But even Flash episode 2, it's like, okay, you haven't officially goofed yet.
Well, so it seems to me so far that they are going more in the direction of Black Lightning, which is smart. It's a smart decision to sort of go less for the Monster of the Week thing, and at least tie the episodes together more. But I'm curious to see how that works out going forward.
I kind of can't wait to talk about Black Lightning soon because episode 1 culminates in Tobias Whale fucking harpooning someone and dragging them across his living room.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Yes.
He's screaming and agony the whole time.
Yes.
And he's like, what does he say? He's like, come here, you bitch, I'm going to make you fucking... what does he say? He's like, I'm going to rip your face off or something like that?
I'm waiting.
He hits her with some nasty threat. Oh, it's so fucking good. It was awesome. That, like I said, that episode features someone fighting someone with high heel blades.
Not enough.
Yes.
Not enough harpoon murder and thing.
No,
I feel like we're gonna get more of it very soon.
Yeah.
Because now Tobias Whale has used his harpoon on people twice.
Doesn't he have a harpoon in the comics? Little on the nose.
Might have.
Little on the nose.
I don't care. I'm glad the fact that he has a harpoon in the TV show. I'm glad the fact that I can say in 2018 that a supervillain on TV has a harpoon mounted on his desk. And he just fires it at people from a sitting position. Like,
I want there to be a scene. Where he's like at his desk and he's eating out of a lunch bag that just says krill on it.
And it's delivered by a man named Ahab.
Yes.
And then, like, as Ahab's leaving, like, Tobias Whale just fucking, like, takes his fist and just, like, slams in the button and fires the harpoon in his back and just goes, and just goes to eating his krill. But yeah, premieres they're usually either kind of like, they're good to okay, they're never offensive. So we gotta wait to see if anything really starts to fuck up.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, hey, like, for a show that we really fucking quit on last season hard, like, none of us sound particularly upset with it.
Well, the fact that you're saying like you actually kind of enjoyed it is showing that it has corrected a lot of mistakes it was making.
Yeah, it wasn't like I wasn't viciously bored like I was last season. And like some of the things I laughed at the hardest, one of them being Brainiac, I've done a complete 180 on. I'm like, oh, he's really entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's not having the touch lamps on his forehead and being painted gray helps
that
quite
and
a
the
bit.
line of like when Alex goes full boss mode on him, she goes like, "You do not make a move. You don't talk. You don't breathe unless I tell you to." And she walks away. He's like, "May I breathe now?"
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
And I like the changes to the DEO. I like John kind of being a warrior piece who's like, nope, my fighting days are done. This is all up to you now. Like I'm good. I don't like the only thing I didn't like was after Supergirl does these awesome fucking global hero acts. Like she lands and someone goes, "It's really nice of you to do that while Superman's away, because if he were here, he'd fucking do it." Thanks, second stringer. It's good to have you.
Yep.
Thank God you're back up.
It's not a backhanded compliment at all. Yeah.
When he gets back, you're going back on that bench.
Right.
Don't get too excited about this.
Don't get too excited about this. It's not like anybody cloned you or anything. Sit down. But yeah, I'm actually optimistic about everything on CW. And just to get it out there, like, love Black Lightning premiere too. It was awesome. And Legends is coming up soon, and I don't know who's watched extended teasers for Legends, but like, I'm just gonna say this: the last teaser I saw opened with the team seeing a unicorn at Woodstock, and then the unicorn viciously impales some woman, and she sprays blood everywhere.
Yes.
And then someone goes like, "Oh my god, unicorns are dicks!" Like,
yeah. I'm excited. I don't know. So I have this theory that if we consider the first season of Legends to be like just a what's it called? Where you just like don't count something. Where you're just, like,
non-canon or
yeah, or
they're
like in
mulligan.
sports, like mulligan. Like if you consider that a mulligan, this is their season 3, so I'm worried. But I hope that I'm wrong.
I don't know. I think we have the least to worry about from them because they have such a different tone than any of the other shows.
Yeah, and like I
agree.
I think that show is carried so strongly by its cast at this point because they have astounding chemistry together, and it seems like even Zari, who came in and I was like, I don't fucking like this girl. Relatively quickly won me over, and now like when she finally gets a chance to like be a character instead of a frowny face, she's awesome too.
Yeah.
Like her episode where like she's fucking around with Nate's armor and learning to make reads erotic Victorian fiction is fantastic.
Great. Yeah.
And then when they teased her dying, I was like, shit, I actually don't want her to go.
I love silent intellectual Heatwave.
Yes.
Like when the shit's with the blow up and he's got his nanny glasses on, he's like, let me finish this chapter, please.
There's just something about it. It's just so good.
Well, it's also the fact that like Dominic Purcell looks like he's made of like just nothing but like the most the most well done steaks ever made.
Yeah,
just like a pile of them shaped into a man.
He looks like his blood is Jack Daniels.
He looks like a fucking brick shithouse. Like, and not in the sense that he's Jack, but he looks solid as fuck. And I feel like if he headbutted me, he would collapse my skull.
Probably.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
And that in his voice sounds like he wakes up and just like starts the grill and just starts breathing in the smoke. Like,
vampires. I hate vampires.
I hate Nazis. I hate zombies. He's very much like what's his face from Left 4 Dead.
Oh, he's fucking. Yeah, we brought this up. He's Francis.
Yeah, he's Francis.
Wait, this just clicked with me. He's reading Dracula throughout that vampire episode, and he played Dracula at one point.
Oh my god!
He was Dracula in Blade 3. Yes.
Oh shit!
The fact that that's just now hitting me. Oh my god!
That's okay. That's a longer game than having Martin Stein walk up and go, the Titanic. I'm not setting foot in that thing. Whoever designed it should be shot. And then just walks in.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
Okay, I fucking love Legends of Tomorrow so much.
So good, so good.
But I think we can wrap. That was I think we intended for Flash to be something separate, but now it's not really. We got
yeah.
I think we covered everything nicely. Well, I mean, I thought about it. I was like, do we have that much to say about Flash in these 2 episodes? Because, like, collectively, like I said, not a whole lot happens in them.
Nah. It's kind of empty a little bit.
Yeah.
Could have been 1 episode, really.
Yeah, and that's why kind of why I'm like, everything else feels a little better, and Flash just feels like this doesn't feel that different yet.
Yeah.
But it wasn't immediately offensive, so I guess, like, thumbs up?
Yeah.
Thumb kind of up?
It's
Again, I'm waiting to jump off this roof.
I give it a single indecisive thumb.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Again,
Kinda,
hanging off a rooftop.
It's kind of rounding up, but I've got 1 foot in the piranha pit. Like,
yep.
Like,
Yeah.
I'll do it. Please don't. I will. Okay, you pushed me.
I'll do it.
If it happens, it's on you. But anyway, I think we can wrap up. Are we good?
Yeah.
I'm good because I am physically exhausted from being up till 1 a.m. as a 32-year-old after screaming my ass off at every performer I saw at Bonnie Screams here in Las Vegas. Including at the end of the night, we rode a tiny little slow train back to the parking lot, and it's going like 2 miles an hour, and I stood up on my train car and just screamed, "We're going off the rails of a crazy train."
Jesus Christ.
As loud as I could.
I'm envisioning you screaming about every character you see while you're at the thing.
Well,
you're like a 5-year-old at Disney World.
No, I wasn't doing that. I was being deliberately obnoxious, and like every time I could see the guy playing Slenderman, like even in the background, I just kept yelling Slenderman. And then at some point we got that picture, and it's like Slenderman's my dad.
Don't ever talk to me or my son ever again.
Actually, Mark forgive me, buddy, but your last name is very hard to pronounce. Krispinski, posted a comment on that picture. It says, because we're both so friendly looking, it says, "Feel free to talk to me and my son anytime you please." But Bonnie Screams is cool shit. They take an old ghost town and convert it into a big Halloween attraction. And apparently it's a bunch of buildings from other ghost towns that were basically just like falling apart. And they were salvaged and brought to one location so you can go see all of them.
Oh, so they've made
really cool.
a culmination of ghost things that are now creating an Uber ghost because it's all these ghosts from other.
Essentially forming Ghost Voltron.
We are
right.
Yeah,
It's like the end of Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that because there is a horror movie I saw called The Abattoir, and it is a guy goes around and he. Okay, this sounds bonkers, but it actually happens. If he goes around collecting rooms where people have died, like he fucking excises the room from the building and like drags it off, and then makes a haunted house out of all of these rooms.
That sounds amazing.
It does sound amazing.
It's kind of shit, but the premise is awesome.
The premise is great. The film.
It's directed by the guy who made Saw 2 and 3, and then he's never made a good movie since.
I just really like the idea of a guy collecting ghosts. Like they're fucking.
Well, then go watch 13 Ghosts.
I have seen 13 Ghosts, and I'll never do that again. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, watch the original 13 Ghosts.
Yeah,
that's what you should do.
I don't mind the Matthew Lillard 13 Ghosts with Tony Shalhoub.
It's a movie I watched once. Yeah,
that's the most early 2000s cast I've ever heard.
With Tony Shalhoub and
Matthew Lillard
and Shannon Elizabeth.
Oh god.
Oh my
I
god.
love Wings as much as the next guy. But yeah.
This is as early 2000s as the cast of Mindhunter is mid 2000s.
Oh man. Christian Slater, LL Cool J, Val Kilmer, kind of.
13 Ghosts. The lore to that movie is kind of interesting.
I like 13 Ghosts for one reason. Those ghost designs are fucking awesome.
Yeah, they're cool looking.
The Jackal is one of the most frightening things I've ever seen. That's the guy with his head in the cage, that Bloodborne looking character.
Okay. I vaguely remember this.
Yeah, it's a guy in a straitjacket, and like he's basically got elongated fingernails and like overgrown teeth, and he's got his head in one of those old like crazy ass asylum cages. They just place in your head, and he just fucking runs bucknutty around the whole place. Yeah, he's my favorite part of that movie easily. And the rest of the ghosts are really cool. I mean, the big titty ghost is a little overkill, but
wow,
that's what she is. I'm sorry.
Like I said, early 2000s.
Yeah, it's just like that goes to Juggernaut. He's big and he's really strong. That goes to Jackal. He represents rage and violence. That ghost was the guy who got killed on a motorcycle. That ghost is a girl with big boobs.
Yep.
Girl, your ghost titties are banging.
And she's got a knife. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I think we're done.
Yeah.
So, Movie Dumpster has, like, a fuck ton of content, either out, that has just come out, or on the way. Boo, A Medea Halloween, is out. Erik actually asked earlier, Guyver 2 is out for anybody who was looking for that.
Yeah.
We got really busy, and then we're getting everything in the clutch, basically. And then Double Toil and Trouble should be out soon. If you're looking for me to be on that episode, good luck, because I speak very sparingly, because that movie shattered me. I was
the Olsen child must be washed. The Olsen child must be taken care of.
She touched a glass, massage her hand. That is how I read that sentence, by the way. Massage her hand.
That's exactly how I was hoping you'd read it.
She is tired. Bring her bed.
Oh, Greg.
This bed is too hard. Bring a softer mattress.
God damn it.
And the fact that the Olsen twins are actually just one person moving very fast.
Yes.
I wish I knew that joke before doing that episode, because I would have brought that up immediately, saying that Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen are actually just one speedster.
Yeah, just one speedster appearing.
And it's just a constant speed mirage. And all I could think, I'm like, it's just Eobard. That's all it is. He used that facial change technology, and he masqueraded as the Olsen twin for 20 years.
Oh,
That's
no.
why
Elizabeth Olsen needs to get out of there.
That's why we don't see them anymore.
Right.
They went back to the original timeline.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
God damn it.
Eobard's dead in the present. So.
That's why
Right.
their acting sounds so bad, is because they actually had to edit a lot of it out because of all the helicopter noises in the background.
Eobard, we can't hear you. What? So that's coming out, and then next week we are watching Night of the Demons. So we're ending the month on a fucking banger, because Night of the Demons is awesome. If you've never seen it, please go watch it. It has I would consider a very iconic horror character in Angela. It features someone making lipstick disappear by pushing it into her boob. And I'm not going to give you any context for this movie, so go track it down.
I always get that one and Demons confused. I've seen both of them.
We had this conversation, and you should also go see Demons, because Demons is a bunch of people go see a movie, and the movie is cursed, and the movie turns everybody in the theater into fucking demons.
Yeah, it's on Shudder.
And then basically people have to fight demons while barricaded in a movie theater.
Yep.
It is
Yeah.
rad. Like, I think at some point, someone riding a motorcycle down a flight of stairs, like, cutting demons' heads off.
Yeah, I believe that happens, and it might be that of the second one.
I might check that out then. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
Demons is good.
It is.
And I think we'll be watching that soon. And then after that, Mortal Kombat Annihilation comes out. And then after that, I'm not really sure. After that, we might even do the one, and Arlen might be on that episode.
Yeah. Or we might do the Wraith, because that's my other one that I would be guest on if it's ever picked.
And we have another guest I lined up. His name's John Pavaramo. He's a comedian. He wants to do Killer Clowns from Outer Space, so he wants to go right for the jugular. I have never actually seen Killer Clowns in its entirety, so I'm not watching it until we do this episode.
Oh my.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff coming out to look forward to. You should know where to find us at this point if you're interested in the show. If you don't, MovieDumpsterPodcast.com.
Yep. My plugs. Last Horror Podcast every single week. The episode coming out this week will be the Monster Mash tie-in episode with Hunter.
Yeah.
So listen to that when it comes out.
We talked about Gremlins, so it's cool.
Yeah. We talked about a lot of monster boys, a lot of creepy makeup and stuff like that. Yeah, it was a fun time. Of course, listen to MASH when it comes out. First preview episode features Connor, which should be coming out by Friday if we have certain things in order.
Yeah, certain things.
Would that be artwork of some sort?
Yeah, perhaps artwork that we asked for months ago.
Monsters already had Monsters getting older before this picture will come out.
Yeah.
I just realized the other day that Monster Mash is like almost 10 years old, and like when I moved here, I'm like I in my head they were like, oh, like he's 6, and in my head he's always been 6.
Yeah.
But now it's like I'm like, oh man, like he is older, because we ran some blood in him recently just to see how he's doing. He's doing fine. Everybody who's wondering, Monster's still with us. I think he's the fucking comeback kid. He'll be around for a while.
He's timeless. He's immortal.
He's a precious cat child.
Cat kid. So don't follow me anywhere. That way. Check out Lost Arrow Games. I just launched. We got a bunch of cool, talented writers, so I'm really excited about.
Yeah, one of them's named Connor. Go figure.
Yeah, wow. Not the Connor of either.
Yeah. That Connor got his WordPress account made before this Connor.
I know.
I'm so surprised.
Maybe
it's
almost like I hate my own writing and I'm unwilling to let people see it.
Yeah. Catch me next time in Canada, just casually hanging out with rappers. Yeah.
This show is beneath Hunter now. He's a celebrity.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, fuck it. That's it.
Okay. Oh, damn it. I was waiting for the don't fucking follow me.
I did at the beginning.
Oh, I missed it.
I did
I'm
it
Eric.
quick.
I'm Erik Fedorchak. You can follow me at Erik_Fedor on Instagram. Pictures of dogs and cats and food and comics. I'm also floating around the Phantom Zone, where can continue to try and correct people on the way things are going within the MCU on Netflix. And outside of that, everyone should watch the Haunting of Hill House on Netflix. It is absolutely phenomenal, and this is something special for the guys in the group.
I want to mention this regarding the group. If people don't see me posting in Phantom Zone as much anymore, it's because I took Facebook off my phone as kind of a means of like mental health therapy. So you won't see me posting as much during the work days, but my days off, I'll be there.
I hate you so much.
I'm not even going to look because my vocal boost is still in front of my laptop screen.